So today I'm going to be showing you what I have been wearing on my face over this past week. I've been doing a makeup look that I've really been loving because I think it just looks really pretty and it's super simple to do. There was even a time this week where I only had 15 minutes to get ready, which was crazy because I typically need at least 30 minutes and I was still able to do this makeup look. I have my foundation and my eyebrows done, and if you guys want to know what my everyday foundation and eyebrow routine is, I will link that video down below. So I'm going to jump in with my Maybelline eyeshadow crayon thingy. I don't know what you call these things, but it is in the color Dusk, and I have been loving this thing, and it's kind of like a purpley Satin Taupe color from MAC, and so I really like it for that reason, and it's definitely very sparkly. So what I do is I just roughly put it on my lid, and then I bring it up to my crease and I kind of like angle it out a little bit to kind of give that cat eye effect. And the way I'm applying it right now is horrid because this is just the first step. So you definitely want to blend this out. Some ladies will go out of the house looking like this, and that's not cool. I think one of my biggest pet peeves with makeup is when people don't blend it out, and so they either don't blend out their foundation or they don't blend out their eyeshadow, and it drives me nuts. Cause yeah, there are women in the world that would just wear it like this, and that's no. When I went to go try it for the first time, it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I kind of swatched it on my hand just to see the color, and then I went to bed, I washed my face, washed my hands, went to bed, woke up, took a shower, washed my hair, and it was still on my hand. So it is very long wearing. And then I bring it underneath my eye. So then I'm going to take a fluffy brush, and this one is really dirty because I've literally been using it all week for the same exact thing. I've literally worn this look every single day this week. Okay, so I'm going to use MAC's Satin Taupe, and this is a very similar color to the color that I've already put on my eyelid, so I like using it with this. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush, and then I'm going to just go over the entire thing. And I like putting this on over top because number one, I think it is a little bit lighter of a color, so it's a good eyeshadow to kind of blend it out with. And I also like it because it is a very similar color, so I like just putting it on top, and I feel like it just kind of sets the eyeshadow because the eyeshadow is kind of like a creamy eyeshadow, and so I feel like it just helps it to last longer. So once I kind of unload the brush onto my lid, I start smudging out those edges, and I really work that out. And because I can really just like slap this on and then just buff it out really quick, it's made it to where I can really get my eyeshadow routine done in like a minute, and that's really helped this week because this week has been kind of a crazy week. So now I'm just gonna take a little eyeshadow smudge eyeliner brush, and it's just like a really small smudge brush. And then I'm gonna grab some MAC's Naked Lunch and just swirl that in there. And I'm gonna put it right in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna carry it up top just a little bit. So there are some days where I just leave it just like this and I just add a quick coat of mascara. And then there are other days where I add another eyeshadow on top. And so I'm just going to show you guys that look just because I have done this a couple times this week and I really liked it. So I'm just going to take a just normal flat eyeshadow brush that has a lot of product in it. And then I'm using my Almay Intense Eye Color 401 Smoky Eye for Browns. And then I'm just going to use this really pretty lavender color right here in the center. And it's a very light lavender color with like a hint of like gold, I think, in there, or like metallic. And I just think it looks really pretty with the MAC Satin Taupe and the Maybelline eyeshadow brush. So I'm just going to dip a little bit in there, empty out the brush, and then I'm just going to dab this right on to the eyelid. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell in the video, but I know that like when I'm out and about, when I'm in my car and the sun is hitting my makeup, I can really see this lavender purple pop out, and I just think it gives a really pretty effect. So this week I have been using, I started using the Urban Decay black eyeliner in Perversion, and it was creasing. By the end of the day, I'd have like a little black line on the top of my crease. So I went back to using my Kat Von D eyeliner pencil in Puro Amor. Thanks for complicated names. It's such an easy eyeliner to use. I would definitely recommend it. It's super pigmented and it goes on like butter. Like if you're not good at applying eyeliner, I think that you might like this one because it goes on so effortlessly and then it stays put. Like it doesn't crease, it doesn't smudge, it doesn't do anything. I go just a little bit past my natural lash line. And I just bring it halfway through the eyelid, so I don't bring it all the way into the tear duct. And then I just bring a little quick dab down to my lower lash line. So now I'm just going over the eyeliner. And if I were trying to get like fancy with this or give it a little bit more of a dramatic look, I would dip this in a little bit of like black eyeshadow, but I'm just kind of smudging it out because I don't want my eyeliner to be very dramatic because I have been wearing this as just like an everyday look. And so I don't mind that it really kind of fades that eyeliner. Now time for mascara, and I am of course using the Benefit They're Real mascara. I just love this mascara and I pretty much use it every single day. The thing that I don't like about this mascara is that it does dry out. Like I feel like it doesn't last as long as other mascaras that I've tried, but I don't know that I don't know if everyone else would have that problem though, because Colorado is really, really dry. Like I can't really buy those gel eyeliners or those gel eyeshadows that come in like those little pots because they dry out so fast, because Colorado just sucks all the moisture out of you. When I started buying those gel eyeliners and stuff and I saw how quickly they dried out was really when I started wearing like night creams and eye creams, because I'm like, oh my goodness, if it is sucking all of the moisture out of my beauty products, what in the world is it doing to my skin? And so that was really when I started realizing that I probably make really weird facial expressions when I'm applying my mascara. I'm gonna be watching this back being like, Brittany, what in the world? So yeah, so ever since then I've been taking a little bit more care of my skin, which is good. So I apply one coat and then I typically go in with a quick second coat. And for some reason this week, for the first time like in my life since I've been wearing makeup, I haven't been putting any mascara on my bottom lashes and I have been loving it. I don't know why I didn't do that before. So next I use my Maybelline Dream Lumi Lightening Concealer, and this is a really light concealer. Like I wouldn't use it on my dark circles and that's it. Like I definitely use my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer because it doesn't give like high coverage, but it gives a really pretty highlighting effect. And so I put it underneath my eyes, on my forehead, and on my chin. And then I just dab it in with my finger. And I also like it because it cleans up any fallout that I've had with my eyeshadow. And I bring it right into the corner because sometimes I'll get a little bit of eyeshadow here in the corner that will add like a shadowing effect, which I don't want. And I really just think this product puts like the finishing touch to my makeup. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, and I'm using another Sephora brush, angled blush brush, bronzer brush, I don't know. All of the names have smudged off of these, so I don't know what they're called. And I'm using the Sephora Los Cabos bronzer, and yeah, this is pretty much my everyday bronzer. I just love it. And so a lot of bronzers don't really work for my skin because it's just way too orange, and so I like this one because it's just kind of the perfect shade for my color, for my skin tone. And I've been kind of bringing it a little bit more onto the apple. And I love bronzer because I am so pale. I really put it on in like big circle motions. I mean, I'm really putting it everywhere besides the T-zone, and I'll even put a little bit on my nose. And I just feel like it helps me to not look so pale. I think it's really thinning. There was one time where we were in New York City and we went to go see Wicked, and I got like all dressed up. I was so excited to go to like my first Broadway play type of thing. And my husband like kept taking pictures of me and my face looked so puffy. And I was just like, why in the world am I looking like complete crap in all these pictures? And then when I got home, I was kind of like looking at myself because like literally every single picture that he took of me, I was just like, I looked so puffy and so pale, and I was just like, what in the world is going on with my face right now? I realized that my bronzer was still in my makeup bag, and so I didn't use it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why my face looks so like chubby and pale, and it's because I didn't put on any bronzer. And so yeah, I really like using bronzer, as you can tell. I'm still applying it, but I really just kind of like blend it out. I go onto the temple, and then as I am getting done with the temple, I kind of fade off into my hair, and then with the excess I kind of just put a little bit on my nose, and I really just blend. Okay, so I think I'm finally done with bronzer, and I didn't really apply a ton of bronzer. It was more just like applying it and then really working it into the skin. And then the next step is blush, and I have been using a blush this week that I have just completely fallen in love with, and it is the Nars Dolce Vita. And I remember when I pulled this out, I was just like, what in the world was I thinking with this color? Because it's a very like plummy, deep blush color, and I typically go with like soft pinks. And so I was just like, what in the world? This must have looked really different in the store's lighting or something. It's always just like sat in my makeup drawer, and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks so pretty, and I want to try it, but I'm kind of scared. And so this week I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that blush, and I'm so glad I did, because I have just really been loving it, and I am definitely very precautious when I'm trying it. So what I'll do is I'll take my angled brush that I use to apply my bronzer, and I will just apply the very tip of this brush, and I just do a couple of dabs, so a very little bit is on the actual brush, and then I will take my hand and I'll just do a couple of dabs, and I just kind of take off the excess onto my hand. That way it's not going right onto my cheek. I will go into the apple of my cheek and I will just start dabbing. And something that I really like about this blush is that typically I just apply blush to the very apple of my cheek, but I've really been liking bringing this a little bit back into my bronzer, and that's why I applied my bronzer a little bit more onto the apple, because really this blush is going to kind of melt into my bronzer. And then what I do is if I want to rub a little bit off, I will use this end that doesn't have any blush on it and kind of just go over it, just to kind of like really kind of buff it out, because this part doesn't have any blush on it. So I'm really glad that I finally like gave this blush a whirl, because I have been loving it. I think it's just like a really pretty berry kind of blush that I haven't really tried before. And last but not least, I have lipstick, and I am using the Maybelline Nude Lust lipstick, and I talked about this in my 2014 favorites. I just love this nude lipstick. It's just like the perfect nude for my skin tone. And I think the reason why I like this nude so much is some nudes are more brown, some nudes are more orange, some nudes are more pink, and I like this one because it's kind of like a nude browny pink. Like it has a little bit of brown and a little bit of pink in it. And that is the makeup look that I have been wearing this week. I've been loving it. I've been a little bit more chatty today as I've been applying it, but I really have been liking this makeup look because there have been plenty of times this week where I just had to throw on some makeup, and it's been a really quick and easy look that I didn't have to think about. I didn't have to worry about whether it was going to match with what I was wearing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my first ever weekly makeup look. I had a lot of fun filming it, and I'm excited to sit down with you guys and do my makeup every week. And so I will see you guys next Friday with another makeup look. But then I will see you a couple more times this week with other videos. So yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!